Well, I got a message to the Republican Tea Party anti-food stamp people. I'm not a liberal in any respect. This is my cat, and I'm emphasizing my cat because on food stamps, the average person gets $1.40 a day. And this guy eats better food than that. And he's only like 12 pounds, whatever the hell he is. I don't know, 11, 12, 13 pounds. I don't know what the hell he is, but he's getting pretty big. But, when they're giving out these food stamps and they're making it look like, and first off, I'm going to backtrack here a little bit. Where do I sit politically? I don't even want to call myself a conservative. I almost want to call myself a reactionary. I don't want to conserve the status quo. I want it to go back. I don't need this. I think stuff is so screwed up. I want to just turn the wheels back a little bit, I don't even consider myself conservative. I mean, that's almost like ultra-conservative in some ways. But then these conservatives are freaking mean. They're mean. I mean, yeah, I know there's some people that cheat on food stamps. I know, it's reality. But there's also big freaking cheating going on in the government in a lot of different ways, like with, military procurement and stuff like that, and the way contracts are rewarded, and waste and fraud and everything that goes on everywhere in the government. It's all over the place. The people that get food stamps, on average, this is a fact, on average, they get $1.40 per meal. That's what it is, not per day, per meal. Per meal. Yeah, my cat could survive on that. Maybe he gets $1 a meal, 2 meals a day. But that's you're not talking cat. You're talking about people. You're not talking about cats, right? The thing is, they're looking at this program and they're saying, oh, it was like in fiscal year 2008, it was $28 billion, right? Would it be? And now in fiscal 2012, it was $46.6 billion. So it increased 65% over the last 4 years, right? They're saying, oh, yeah, that's really bad. Yeah, it is bad. But, the military spending increases at least 9% a year, too. And you could say, yes, we need defense and all that stuff. And, maybe we don't need all these foreign wars or whatever. But, there's a lot of waste that goes on in the military, too. Oh, a lot. A lot. And, you've seen these types of things, where there's just so much excess spending, even on, like, toilet paper or something like that might be a ridiculous amount of money. Somebody's making a lot of money. Like, they love these military contracts because they're lucrative. It's not, a lot of military spending doesn't even really go on defense. There's a lot that goes on. It does not even have to do with defense at all. But when they're talking about, the Tea Partiers and the Republicans, and you're talking to somebody who's basically, I don't know, maybe I'm like a semi-Republican. I just don't agree with any party, but I'd say I pretty lean more conservative. But the one thing I don't like about some of the conservatives is sometimes they're flat out mean. They are. I mean, it's like, they're not even thinking. People are getting $1.40 a meal. Some of these people that are judging these people, and yes, I know there's some of the cheating going on, but that $1.40 a meal, $1.40 a meal, you do have a lot of incentive to get more food than that. Try feeding yourself for $1.40. That's, you know what I mean? Meals cost more than that. So, I mean, I don't know how the hell they're saying that's excessive. Basically that's like starvation rations, it's a supplement to whatever they're getting. So, it's not like anybody's getting wealthy off of this stuff. But the people are probably getting wealthy are probably some of the big contractors with, lucrative defense contracts out there. High tech, not just weaponry, but just all kinds of stuff that goes on in, the beans and support and whatever in the military too. So, I mean, the government, if they need to cut back, I don't think they should be like looking so hard at this food stamp program. Because the Republicans, I don't know what the deal is with these guys. It's almost like, are they trying to get themselves not elected? Is that what the hell it is? I mean, I can see, trying to cut back, streamline the government, And there is a lot of stuff that goes on, fraud, waste, and abuse all over the place. I mean, just look at what goes on in, the Congress and the White House, right? And there's two examples right there. But the thing is, when they're trying to cut back people's food stamps, they're saying, oh, it's almost like feeding lazy people that don't want to work. Oh, bullshit. If somebody's getting $1.40 a meal, and that's what they're getting, they got a lot of incentive to work just to feed themselves right there, because that's not adequate. I mean, it's probably cost a lot. I mean, who the hell can actually do that? What are you going to do? Buy a bag of rice or something and just eat rice forever or something? I mean, that's not really adequate subsistence. So I don't know what the hell they're talking about when they're saying they want to cut that, because actually there's a lot more to be cut in government, and a lot of places in the government are actually interfering with free enterprise. So, the other thing is, too, when they're talking about this stuff, cutting food stamps, I keep thinking back, and I keep mentioning this in a lot of my videos. If they grew industrial hemp, and it doesn't have to be hemp for food, not marijuana plant, hemp for food, there'd be like loads of food in the United States. Loads of food. Loads of very nutritious food. The oil from the hemp is almost the most perfect oil going. It's a lot better. It's got the right essential fatty acids, the right blend of essential fatty acids. It's better than flax oil. It's better than fish oil. It's got a complete protein and everything like that. But hell no, we're not allowed to do that, right? They're not allowed to do that. The farmers aren't allowed to do that. People aren't allowed to do that. I mean, if they want to actually cut this back, they ought to do is give incentives to allow people to grow their own food, like hemp especially, because it's easy to grow. Anybody could do it. It doesn't require pesticides, doesn't require herbicides, and it's probably better to grow hemp, and you get more benefit than getting $1.40 a meal if you're allowed to grow your own hemp, right? Because it's easy to do. You don't need to be an agricultural farmer expert to do that. So I don't know what these Republicans are trying to do, and basically I lean more Republican, but when I see them do this kind of stuff, it's freaking ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm not like a liberal. I know there's fraud, waste, and abuse that goes on within the food program too. I mean, I don't call it a food stamp program. It's like a food assistance program, a nutritional assistance program. I think they renamed it. But the thing is, they're actually, the money that's going out for the most part is going out to people that would be dying of malnutrition or something if you didn't give them this stuff. Period. And that's why I see it's flat out mean. Now, they are wasting a hell of I mean, this is a lot of money, but the thing is, there's a hell of a lot more fraud, waste, and abuse going on in the government as it stands right now in other areas, by far. So I don't know why they're looking at trying to cut this. This is crazy. It's almost like the Republicans are deliberately trying to destroy their own party, like a political suicide or something. They're trying to destroy their own party on purpose. I can't see them being this stupid by doing this. And this is coming from somebody that is definitely not a liberal. You know what I mean? I don't go along with a lot of this liberal stuff, but I don't go along with the conservatism when they're not helping the truly needy. That's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. So I don't know what the deal is, but if anybody thinks they can cut out this nutritional assistance program, food stamp program, whatever you want to call it, if they think they could survive on $1.40 a meal, first let them try that. The ones that are going to be voting this, trying to vote us out and stop this, let them first try that. Try to survive on $1.40 a meal, because that's all these people are getting. In other words, it ain't that much, is it, that they're actually getting? It's enough. It's the difference maybe between life and death or life and malnutrition and disease. It's that bad. That's one of the reasons why we probably aren't experiencing in America today like they did in the 1930s, where there was millions of people that actually died. A lot of people in the 1930s, Great Depression, a lot of people died. And, it's kind of a hidden fact. They don't like talking about it because actually, in other parts of the world it was even worse in the Ukraine and Russia and everything, it was even worse. But if they didn't have this nutritional assistance program, we'd be having a lot more of that today in the United States. This virtually has eliminated at least starvation. Even though it's not perfect, there's a lot of other places I could see, other areas I could see within the government that are far more imperfect than this. So I don't know why they're concentrating on cutting this out. Because it's almost like, this is coming from a guy that's basically a Republican, more or less, but I don't agree with everything they say for sure. But if these should be the same people that want to cut this out, they'd be all for appropriating gazillion billion dollars for some kind of new bombers or cruise missiles, no problem, like in a heartbeat, right? They wouldn't care about that. You know what I mean? So, actually, to tell you the truth, I got nothing against the defense budget per se, as if it's going to defense. But if you look very, very carefully at the defense budget, what actually goes into the defense budget, and what actually goes on in the military on a daily basis, a lot of things are not geared towards defense. That's a fact. That's a fact. So you can have a much, much, much more effective military, probably cheaper. Actually, if you look at some of the statistics, if you're looking at the defense budget as a percentage, like the Army gets almost 32% of the budget. The Navy gets 23.4%. The Air Force gets 22%. Marine Corps gets 4%. 4%. And even though the Marine Corps isn't perfect, it's actually does a lot more with less resources than the other branches. So like I said, you can have something, you can be more effective for less cost. It's almost like I would actually, if I was running this deal, I would not be trying to cut back. I know you can call it the grain dole, whatever the hell it is, the grain dole like they had in Rome, where they feed the people. I wouldn't want to see people in the United States starving. That's ridiculous. And I wouldn't want to cut back the military, per se, the true defense, but I'd be looking more and more at each one of those line items that are going into that defense budget very carefully. And especially for where contractors are raking the government over the coals by, excess charges. And I know there's a hell of a lot of that going on. A lot of it going on. This thing with the affordable, the nutritional assistance program, it's not, it's not, even if they stop the whole thing, I'll guarantee you they would be appropriating money in all these other ways, because it's a fairly decent size of the budget. In other words, this affordable, nutritional assistance program, food stamp program, is about 11% the size of the military budget. But even if they got rid of this totally, which would be extremely unfair and wrong to do, the government, the same jerks that are in our House of Representatives that the people keep electing, they would find ways to blow the money anyway. They would. So I don't think this is a bad thing. That's why I'm looking at these Republicans like, I don't know what the hell you guys are trying to do. And this is coming from somebody that I could say I am probably more conservative than a conservative. I'm more of a reactionary. But I just don't like the mean policies of these conservatives. Sometimes they're cold-blooded and cold-hearted. That's ridiculous. This may sound like a lot of money, but it's not a lot of money when you're taking it out, when you're looking at the total budget and what it's actually doing. It's keeping people alive. And, if they don't have to work, and, they have incentive to work, because $1.40 a meal is incentive to work. You know what I mean? There could be a lot of problems. Maybe there's problems with people where they just can't work. Maybe that's why they're getting this money. So, I look at this, I wonder what's going on with the Republican Party. It's almost like they're deliberately trying to destroy themselves. I don't understand it at all. It's ridiculous. That's where I can't really say I'm conservative, because I can't say I'm a liberal either, because I think liberals are idiots. You know what I'm saying? I think they're bad news. But, it's like common sense. I think I belong to a common sense party or something. And, the thing is, we do need a government. I'm not saying we don't need a government. Nothing wrong with the government. We need a government. We have to have it. We need regulations. We need laws to make sure things are fair and square for everybody. But there's a lot more waste going on within the government other than this food assistance program or food stamps or nutritional assistance program or whatever you want to call it. There's a lot more fraud and waste and abuse going on. Even the president, when he takes a vacation, this guy costs millions of dollars to take a vacation. That guy ain't trying to save no money either. It's ridiculous. So, I guess leadership starts at the very top, and leadership by example. So, if we're going to cut, we need to cut some of the perks to the leaders too, especially the ones that are ruling over us, which they shouldn't be because they're supposed to be serving us.